With changes in WWE set to take place and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Given the partnership between WWE and TNA Wrestling, Matt Cardona said this regarding a return to WWE, telling Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, "I have so much more I want to accomplish. I see that TNA is absolutely killing it with NXT. I want to be a part of that. I want to get back in TNA, especially when Steph DeLander, my partner, my property, is marrying PCO behind my back. I gotta go and see what's up over there." Revealing details on his 18-month injury hiatus, Randy Orton told the Daily Mail, "I was in such bad shape, man, that last year or so that I was teaming with Riddle. It was everything that I had in me to get out there and even stand on the apron, and when he tagged me in, I'd come in, I'd blow a comeback, maybe hit an RKO, but that was about all I could do physically. So Riddle, I owe Riddle a lot, man. He's a good dude. Because of him going out there every night and taking the brunt of the punishment in those matches, I was able to extend my career longer than it should have went with that injury that I had in my lower back, and that was just wear and tear over the course of about a decade. It was bad all through my 30s. Staying on the topic of Randy Orton, this was said regarding his contract with WWE, as Fightful noted. This will put him with WWE until the end of 2029. He had signed a 5-year deal in 2019, and we reported this year that if WWE really wanted to, then they could have exercised tacking on more time to his contract because of injury time. I asked WWE why that didn't happen, and they said that this is a different world than it was in wrestling than it was 5 years ago and in general. When it comes to a match at AEW All In being cut short, Ringside News wrote that, according to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, the Perry vs. Allen match had several minutes shaved off due to the show running long and a strict curfew. Alvarez noted they had to be done by 10 p.m., so they went out there and started doing glass spots right away. I'm actually flabbergasted it went 10 minutes because it felt like 5. On that same podcast, The Undertaker mentioned a backstage moment he recently shared with WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H, saying, "I saw Paul, Triple H at the end of the night. That's a lot of wrestling for me to attend on my schedule these days. I went up to him, gave him a hug, and told him bye. I said, 'All right, I'll see you at Mania.' He got what I was saying. The whole time I sat up at gorilla position with Paul and Bruce Pritchard and then myself, we're sitting up there, I was like, this show's really 3 hours long? I know it is, but I was just like, when you guys go to Netflix, is this show going to cut back down to 2 hours? 3 hours? Why 3 hours? It's been 3 hours forever now. But I was just kind of trying to stress the point of 3 hours is a lot of wrestling on a Monday night." Mentioning what it would take for him to consider Rey Mysterio as his father again, Dominik Mysterio said this to Cheap Heat. "He would have to publicly get on his knees in the middle of the ring in front of me, take off his mask, unmask himself willingly, hand it to me like he's presenting it as some sort of offering, and declare that I am the greatest Mysterio of all time. As he gives it to me, he would need to get down and bow to me. I would take the mask and carry on the legacy as the greatest Mysterio that ever lived. I'm already taller than him, so I don't need to be above him, but I want him to feel that much lower and know how much superior I am to him." During that same conversation, Dominik Mysterio was asked about his relationship with Liv Morgan, as he said 100% if he thinks relationship with Liv Morgan is better than the one he had with Rhea Ripley. "I just think the fact that there is equal respect, she just accepts me for who I am. Just chicken tender loving, video game playing, mustache loving, mullet wearing, you know, she accepts me." talking about how he felt following his release from WWE and signing with TNA Wrestling. Nic Nemeth told Fightful, "Yeah, first and foremost, I didn't want to go anywhere. I was very, very lucky. Again, I don't know how the outside world works other than getting it through friends who are on the independents, friends in different companies, and you have an idea, but you don't truly know. My last day in New York, I didn't know if my phone was never going to ring again, or you get a couple of handful of people like, hey, congrats, or good luck, or you want to do this one show in 6 months. Legitimately, my phone got so many messages. It got so hot, it shut down. I couldn't send a text for about 6 or 7 hours. I go, this is not a brag. I go, wow, okay, but a lot of it was like, hey, hell of a run, blah, 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 blah. What a run. BS that you say to people. But like a ton of it was, how do we get you here right now? I said, guys, it's a bit out of my standard. Like, I'm just getting out of a relationship, a long-term 19-year relationship. I'm not looking to get engaged right now and sign a 3-year deal somewhere or a 5-year deal or even 1 year. I said, what I want to do is the reason I asked to leave was 100% like, I'm getting paid a ton of money to sit on the bench and occasionally break the glass, and you have a big match or in case of emergency if somebody's hurt. Then I'll never forget, Scott D'Amore was like, we want you here. I go, listen, I appreciate that. I can't do it. He goes, here's what we got in the background. Here's the long-term storytelling. Here's all the bits and pieces. Here are the people behind the scenes. The locker room's so good. All these people from the locker room are texting me. I go, I love it so much. I don't want to be tied down. Like, what if I'm not helping you guys? Or what if I hate it? Or it doesn't work out? I don't want to sign a 3-year deal. He goes, how about a year? No. Then how about 10 dates? I go, all right, that I can do. Let's do 10 dates, and if you don't think I'm worth it, cut me out. Or if I say this sucks, I can't, I don't like this company. I love it so much, everybody's great. In a world where every locker room is pretty friggin' awesome and hardworking, like there's no wrestling locker room where people are like, oh, nobody works hard here. It's every place you go is like, these guys are busting their ass to make something special happen. That is the exact same case with TNA. The infrastructure behind the scenes is really awesome. I love Gail Kim. I love Tommy Dreamer, but like not even because I'm saying because I worked there. I actually know them and like them a lot. I go, okay, and there's some of the people who get it. As former WWE star and Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson tried out for the NFL's Buffalo Bills, an update was provided with Mike Garofalo writing, the Bills are waiving DL Gable Steveson, source says. Former wrestler is a developmental prospect, so this won't be the end of the line for him, whether in Buffalo as a member of the practice squad or elsewhere. Naming those that he feels are the new generation of the 4 horsewomen of WWE, NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez said this to TV Insider. That's a tough question, but I think I would go with me, Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell, and Lyra Valkyria. All of us have been wanting to do this our entire lives. We've been chasing this dream. We all want it so bad. We've all been able to showcase why we could be the next 4 horsewomen. I think that is a good group of talented individuals. Giving his perspective as to why he did not have the success in WWE that he has had in AEW, Swerve Strickland noted on the Rich Eisen show, political moves, just political moves, I can say. Swerve responded, I'll just leave it at political moves. Noting the most embarrassing moment of his pro wrestling career, LA Knight told Gorilla Position about a time in TNA. I think it was like Slammiversary 2016 or something. It was me and Bram. I'm doing my entrance and I pop up on the front buckle to do this thing, raising his arms. And as I do that, I backflip over the rope and land on my feet. Completely by accident. Completely messed it up. I don't know what happened. I just got a little too overzealous and went. And I just sold it with the face and everything. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be on Botchamania now, and I'm like, I said, I know how to fix this. So at some point in the match, I cut off Bram. I can him into the outside, and then I get on the rope, and I do it again, and I backflip on purpose this time, and then sell it all big, and I'm like, now they are going to think I did it on purpose. Recalling the time he pitched the idea of a political party to Vince McMahon, Jesse Ventura said this to Chris Van Vliet. I went to him and I said, Vince, we can do an angle right now. We can come out with the WWE and say we're going to have our own nominee for president. The WWE party, the World Wrestling Party. I'm a governor. I'm the natural WWE candidate for president. Then you do a schmoz where Vince and I get two wrestlers to represent us. Whoever wins gets the nomination. He didn't even bother to call me to turn me down. I thought that was the most disrespectful thing. If he did just call me and said, Jesse, it's too crazy, it's too hokey, I don't think we can do it, I would have said fine. I gave it a try, but he didn't even call me back. In that same interview, Jesse Ventura addressed the potential for him to make a return to the commentary booth in WWE, saying, I don't think I could. I don't think I could today because I don't like the stuff. You know what else I don't like today? There ain't no Mean Gene. What do you have today? Oh, they both come walking down these ramps, they stand in the ring and yell and scream at each other, and then start cutting meat and beat the tar out of each other. Well, you've got It's So Predictable. No one will ever fill the shoes of those who came before. They are not backstage interviewers, they are rehearsed. They're turning wrestlers into actors, giving them scenes with lines. I never had a line, not even from Vern Gagne. I'd fight him and he'd try to put words in your mouth all the time. Nobody knows me better than me and nobody can write for me. Simple. Talk about the possibility of making an appearance on NXT, TNA star Alexander Hammerstone told the Mark Hoke Show, I went into this year saying, whatever comes my way, I'm going to try and knock it out of the park. I'm not expecting the world to be handed to me. I don't care what I'm asked to do. Whatever it is, I'm going to go in there with my working boots on and do my best job. If that means I'm one of the guys who gets an opportunity at NXT, then I'm going to treat it like it's the most important opportunity in the world. Mentioning his last match in WWE at WrestleMania 35 against Triple H in 2019, Batista said this to Chris Van Vliet, I did know it would be my last match. I just didn't tell anybody else because I didn't want it to be a big ordeal. I didn't want to go out and do a tour and give a speech. I wanted to have my match and call it a career on my own terms. The way I wanted to go out was like a dream for me. It was perfect and romantic. Wrestlers don't usually get to choose their exit, but I did. I went out on my own terms with the opponent I wanted, and I will never tarnish that. It's not that I don't miss it. I do. I miss the crowd, the energy, and I dream about walking out and hearing my entrance music, but I know that if I were to do that, I would just tarnish my storybook ending, and I'm just not willing to do that. There's always temptation because I miss it. And every time I hear my music, I want that feeling again. It's like a drug, pure adrenaline that I will never get anywhere else. I just have to come to terms with the fact that my time is past. For that same interview, Batista was asked if he wanted to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He said this, eventually I will. I want to, and there was a good opportunity for me to go in a couple of years ago. I agreed to do it. Hunter asked me to do it, and I said, yeah, of course. It was going to be in LA, and I thought it was perfect. It was storybook because I won my first title here in LA. However, we couldn't figure it out because I was working on a film in South Africa. So logistically, we just couldn't make it happen, but yes, I'm still open to it, and one day I would like to. Going over changes to the broadcast teams in WWE that are set to take place, Ringside News noted that WWE has unveiled changes to its announced team lineup effective from early September as confirmed to Sports Business Journal. The shifts come as the organization continues to evolve its broadcasting approach, introducing fresh voices and rearranging existing talent across its flagship shows. Starting September 2nd, Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett will be the new voices of WWE Raw. Tessitore, who joined WWE in July, brings a wealth of experience from his sports broadcasting career with ESPN, where he covered football and boxing. His transition to WWE marks a significant addition, pairing his sports commentary expertise with Barrett's wrestling insight. Meanwhile, the SmackDown announced team will see Michael Cole teaming up with Corey Graves starting September 13th, coinciding with the show's move to the USA Network. This change marks a new chapter for SmackDown as it continues to deliver top-tier wrestling entertainment on a new channel. Additionally, Pat McAfee, a dynamic presence in the announce booth, concluded his stint on WWE Raw on August 19th to shift his focus back to ESPN College Game Day and the college football season. WWE fans can expect McAfee's return to the commentary team in January. Asked about the time he slapped former WWE head of talent relations John Laurinaitis on programming, who is on the receiving end of the sex trafficking lawsuit filed by former WWE employee Janelle Grant, Teddy Long said this on Road Trip After Hours. "Oh, if I could do it again, I'd knock him the F out. Yeah, I'm serious, man, because I ain't under no contract now, you know what I'm saying? So I'm down, and you know what that man did to me and ruined my career, it's just unreal." Revealing that he interacted with Randy Orton backstage at WWE over the SummerSlam weekend, Machine Gun Kelly told Impulsive, "I was in the ring just coming to Logan Paul to see what we could work out for the show. I saw Randy Orton. I remember seeing Randy Orton talk about me. There was a point where I was like, I'm going to practice a new version of myself. 3, 2, 1, F that. Hey man, F you." All my boys were sitting there stunned. Is this real? I don't know what's happening. The amount of people that pin me as the aggressor in every situation I'm in are so wrong. Back in July, Angel Garza revealed on a live stream that he would be sticking around in WWE, saying, "No, I have not left. In fact, I just re-signed for another 3 years. It was an offer I straight up could not reject, so there is that." Now, his tag team partner and cousin, Humberto Carrillo, has reportedly re-signed to WWE, according to Fightful Select, as this is said to be a multi-year deal that aligns with Garza's contract. Taking to Facebook, the son of the late Psycho Sid Vicious, Gunnar Eudy, said this about his father's passing, writing, "He was known as Psycho Sid Vicious to the world, but to our family, he was simply Popper, the beloved grandfather. Sid was diagnosed with congestive heart failure in 2016 and atrial fibrillation, better known as AFib, around the same time. He was also given a pacemaker. In April 2021, he was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which was linked to Roundup weed killer. Although he never told anyone about his fight against cancer, Sid lived his life to the fullest, attending the gym, boxing classes, making appearances for his fans, and of course, T-ball games for the kids. He passed away peacefully in his bed, leaving behind a legacy of strength and determination. I've never met anyone with a fraction of the strength as my father. He truly was one of a kind. Thanks everyone for the uplifting words and love. We definitely feel it. We have received thousands of messages and are grateful for every one of them. I don't have time to reply, but I've read them all. Thank you, thank you, thank you." Signed, Gunnar Eudy. With Bryan Danielson winning his title versus career match against Swerve Strickland at All In and becoming world champion of AEW. This was said regarding interest in Danielson on the part of WWE, as Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select said he's also been transparent on saying that he doesn't have an interest in going back to WWE, even for a Hall of Fame situation. He said that situation that would likely lead him back to WWE is if they ever really needed him for the sake of the wrestling world being healthy, and he wants to be where it makes the most sense to grow the wrestling world or help the wrestling world, if that makes sense. He had said, and I believe it was in the interview with Gorilla Position, that if WWE was healthy, a hair behind AEW, and they needed him in a competitive balance, so to speak, then he would consider doing it. Those I've spoken to in WWE said that even though he's not under contract, they haven't reached out. And it's not a lack of interest or anything, but they said he's widely loved within their company and they respect his contributions to wrestling. It was kept quiet, and I didn't get a lot of answers on that. When it comes to plans for the WWE Performance Center, WrestleVotes reported that, according to a source, there was an all-employee meeting today at WWE HQ in Stamford hosted by Mark Shapiro. I'm told the biggest news to come out of the meeting is that the WWE Performance Center will be moving to Las Vegas in the near future. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.